What does it mean to be an author? It means to have your name attached to a book as the person who wrote the book. But beyond that, it's beyond that really. It's to impact, it's to persuade, it's to inform, it's to make a change in the world through your words. And a couple of days ago, I was in my room just thinking about a couple of things, and it came to me that a lot of us have books in us. We have books that we have not yet written because we don't think that they are enough. The things we have already are not enough to be put out. We think our experiences are not enough. We think our thoughts are not adequate. We think they have to be in a particular form or shape. And every time we take that posture, we lose out on the possibility of impacting the world. Talk less of even making money, right? When I say that everyone can be an author, when I say that we all can be authors, what I mean by that is that you can impact the world because your experiences count for something. The things you've gone through count for something. And the times you have had in your life thus far can be compressed into moments that can be put into words and can be transferred from generation to generation. One of the first reasons that I think you should be an author if you don't have a book yet written in your name is because it's a way of making money without really working. Okay, meaning that when you have your book published, when you have a book written, you can sell the book. You can put the book on platforms that accommodate your book, and then when people buy the book, even when you're not the person who presented the book to them for purchase, when anyone buys the book on that platform, you get a percentage of the entire cost of the entire sales of the book. Good, isn't it? You're sleeping in your room, someone in most likely, let's say for instance, Stocky wakes up at some point in the middle of the night, takes out a book, like just searches for something that has your book that you've written something on, and maybe possibly you have attached that tag when you were uploading your book on any platform, and your book pops up. Money, by the time you wake up in the morning, you find out that you've been credited, even when you were sleeping, even while you were sleeping, your book has been purchased, and you now have something in your account. Right, so that's one of the first reasons that I think people need to look at having a book written in your name. Number two, I am a very strong believer that it's a way of helping generations to come. When the Holy Book says that a good man leaves inheritance for his children's children, I think one of the ways that can be made manifest is through a book. When you have a book written in your name, what that does to you is that even when you are gone, your children's children can have a book for themselves, and they can read the book, and not even them reading the book, right? They read the book, but the good thing is, even when you're gone, your book is still on these platforms, and you can still your children's children can still make money whilst you're gone. Okay, that's a way to impact your generations unborn. Yep, very true. Okay, and number three, I think it's also a good thing to write a book because you're going to make this world a better place. Every book that is written is supposed to impact a people, impact a generation, impact a person. And I'm working on a book at the moment. The book is titled How Kings Write, rather How to Write Your First Book. I have a book titled How Kings Speak. And you need to get that book if you haven't gotten it yet. But the book I am talking about here is the book titled How Kings Write. It speaks about how to write your first book. What I have done so far, because the book will be available for purchase on the 15th of February 2025, what I've done so far is to put a material together that is simple to read, simple to comprehend, step-by-step process on how I wrote my own books, and how you can start writing yours. That's what I did there. So I made it very clear. I've written about 5 books, and that would make it the 6th book. And what I did in all the books that I wrote is to make it easy for people to understand what life is all about. My first book, I titled it The Power of Action. Strong inspirational material there. And the second book I titled Speak with Impact. Okay, Speak with Impact, how is a public speaking book, how to speak with great impact. And then the third book I wrote was titled The Book of Public Speaking. In other words, that a book that can help you understand how you can speak. The fourth book I wrote is a book titled We All Stutter, meaning that it's a book that speaks about how that everyone has a measure of stuttering ability. In other words, that we stutter at different times. Just that people who we call stutterers or stammerers are individuals who stammer more. Okay, who stammer more? They mumble words together. I think their time before they put their words together. They hit on one syllable for a long time before they get to the next syllable, which is what we know stutterers. But the point is, we all stutter at different points in time, right? We all stutter. And then the next book I put up is the book titled How Kings Speak. Strong book. It's a small book. Pretty small but powerful in every way. Those who have read the books thus far have communicated to me how that the book has impacted them in some way. Okay, how the book has impacted them in some way, shape, or form. It will radically transform your perspective about speaking. You will see speaking in a different light. And then the final book I published last year on my birthday, the 5th of June 2024, was a book I titled Shogbo. The book has in it lessons from my grandmother, ideas from my grandmother, and the things she taught me. I did stay with my grandmother for 8 years, and I learned quite a lot from her, watching her. I could remember that there were times when I had to go to a particular place to listen. So usually my grandmother would take me to the place where adults are in the evening, and we'll assemble there. And we're there. She would tell me stuffs. They would say stories. They would talk about things that are happening. And so because I was younger, they didn't think I would disturb or disrupt them in their conversation. So they would just keep talking about what is happening in the environment, and sometimes they will even tell us stories. I was there with my cousin at the time, tell us stories about different things, and we'll learn. It made me an adult even from a young age. At some point, I started thinking I was even older than my age, because there were things I knew. I started comporting myself as a traditional man when I was in school, right? Back in the day. So that book has in it loads of lessons. I mentioned 6 books here, but I said I've written 5 books. How did I mention 6 books? But yeah, and this will make it the 7th book. Okay, the 7th book there. Now, what am I saying? In essence, I'm saying to you that in you is a book. And I wouldn't want you to die with that book in you. You need to think about putting your thoughts to paper. I've mentioned 3 reasons I believe that everyone needs to write a book. Number 1 is because it's a way of making passive income. It's a way of making. It doesn't matter how rich you are. The richest men in the world, even these days, are writing books. I did see one of Nigeria's billionaire, Dr. Stephen Akitayo, published his book 2 days ago in Abuja, and yesterday in Lagos. The richest men in the world are publishing books, right? Making money by the side. But 2 is because I think writing a book is a way of saving money indirectly, of investing into the future, of your children, because it's a generational way of keeping money in the family. And the third thing I did mention is that you're going to impact the world with what you have inside of you. So I promised I was going to make this very, very short. Hopefully you catch this before. Yep. If you have a question you want to ask me, put it in the comments. But if not, I will be signing out now. It's 10 minutes exactly, and I have to go now. All right. Thank you for watching.